For a while now, my sweet little channel, Rogue Hobbies, has looked like this, and I have loved every single minute of it. But you may not be aware that my studio is all smoke and mirrors and is actually tiny. Like, really tiny. That's right, for 2+ years I have been operating my entire channel and my business in essentially the back of a cupboard, which honestly was very cozy and I have loved it, but if we're being super real, it was kinda giving little orphan Harry Potter living under the stairs. Well, we thought that since my channel, my business, my job, and my collection of stuff has grown exponentially since I created my channel, it was about time that my 4 walls did too. So I am here to officially announce that Rogue Hobbies has moved, which is why I am currently out here. Hello. So in this video, I am going to show you my brand new studio and how we completed this pretty drastic hobby room makeover and turned this old dumping ground of a room into, well, you're just gonna have to wait and see. Whoosh. Oh my god, wait. Whoosh. Okay, I feel sick. So yeah, I'm out here filming in the gaming part of our venue because I have been very busy moving out of my old studio and into my brand new one, and it's kind of weird out here. I feel very exposed. It's fun though. But yes, please come here and let me tell you a tale, because when I started my YouTube channel 2-ish years ago, I didn't start with a lot. I had a couple of cameras, a big shelf, and a dream, and honestly, really bad audio quality looking back on it now, but most notably maybe, I did not have a lot of room to do it in. I didn't have a spare hobby room or spare room in general in my house or my flat. I just had the back of this cupboard. But apparently that is all you really need, and I couldn't be happier with how much my channel has grown from its very humble beginnings. However, like a fish in a tiny tank, I think I have outgrown my little room. So excitingly and also a little bit sadly, I think it's finally time to say goodbye to the OG Rogue room. And genuinely, I'm really bummed out to be leaving my little room because we had such a good time there. Remember this? Are we doing a clip show? We're doing a clip show. Remember times like this? Give me that, Space Marissi. Or maybe this, I'm not doing this. So, I bet you're wondering, where is the new Rogue Hobbies studio? Well, I'm not exactly going far. In fact, I'm in the same building and I am just going downstairs from where I used to work, and the new Rogue Hobbies HQ will be situated in this storage cupboard. And I know what you're thinking, like, ooh, classic Louise, just moving from cupboard to cupboard. That girl just loves working in a cupboard. Well, no more cupboard Louise, because this new cupboard has star potential and is a little bit bigger than my old cupboard. So hear me out. And our plan to make this kind of impossible seeming makeover come to life sort of starts and ends with this guy, Nathan. Nathan, otherwise known as the Loon King himself, is one of our close personal friends, but also conveniently a fantastic builder. So the first task we gave him was to turn what was essentially the dumping ground of our entire building into kind of a more roomy looking room. And so we got to work gutting the room of all of its years of stacked up cardboard, Rascal Town entrails, and other weird mystery mess. And Nathan also had to essentially rebuild part of the back wall as well to hide this extremely spooky little haunted area so that the ghosts that live under the stairs won't try and eat my toes whilst I'm filming. Screw those toe-eating ghosts. I hate him. But after about a week of, if we're being honest, mostly Nathan's hard work and me being useful by occasionally bringing him a strong cup of tea, the extremely desolate cupboard under the stairs actually looked like a proper little room. I picked out some colors for the walls and I opted to keep the same dark blue which my old studio had because it's a great color and yeah, change is kinda scary for everyone. And then it was time for me to start drawing up some new plans for my office. And for those who don't know, this isn't exactly my first rodeo creating and designing a cool looking hobby studio for camera. In fact, I designed these studios for Citadel Masterclass Battle Report and the little commentator area for Warhammer TV. And I really love those designs. They're simple, and especially for Masterclass, I feel like it just works. So I came up with something similar-ish to the way Masterclass frames the presenter with cool stuff, but then obviously I made it a little bit cooler. No shade, I love Masterclass. You guys are all right. Since IKEA has a very handy sort of mock-up app in their stores, it was super easy for us to translate my sketch into actual things we could buy. And after a few trips and a lot of meatballs, we had my room fully kitted out with all of the basic furnishings that it would need to function for really not that much. I love IKEA. And this was all well and good, and my studio was looking nice, but I really wanted this studio to have like a really big centerpiece. My plan for my old studio was always to have some kind of big rogue Hobbies sign in this mysterious blank space on my wall, but we never got round to it, so that space always kind of remained blank, and that's the reason why. But not anymore, because it was finally time to make the ultimate hobby studio sign. Inspired by this massive statue which I saw featured at the Gunpla Builders World Cup Awards ceremony, I decided that I wanted a big fat Rogue Hobbies logo with a bunch of sprues kind of crammed in it. My original plan was to kind of do what the statue did and gather up all my old sprues, put it in a big resin cast, and then kind of get someone to chop it into the shape of my logo. But it turned out that this was a silly idea because that is a lot of resin, and also it would probably end up being too heavy to hang on a wall. So instead we opted for something much simpler, which is just to lay the sprues down, cut them into shape, and put my logo on top. Easy peasy, squeeze the lemon. But first I had to source a whole lot of sprues, but fortunately for me, that wasn't a problem. Not at all. Due to my brand new out of control Gundam addiction, and because I'm probably low-key a hoarder in some deep hidden way, I managed to save hundreds of colorful Gunpla sprues, and now I could use them instead of just having them take up a bunch of room. Now imagine if I had been sensible and listened to people when they told me to just throw them away. Imagine. Terrible. Since I wanted this to become a little bit of a decluttering project as well, I spent a solid half an hour collecting together all my Gundam boxes and organizing all these sprues, assembly guides, and spare pieces into piles. And at the end, I had an admittedly uncomfortably large stack of extremely colorful sprues for me to use for my sign. And I'm kind of glad that I got into Gundam before I made this sign, because Gunpla sprues are all sorts of different colors and textures, and some are like metallic and see-through and even glittery. And if I had used Warhammer sprues, it honestly would have ended up being a lot more grey and less colourful, which just isn't as me, I don't think. Anyways, with all these sprues collected and laid out in a pleasing fashion, Tom, the Goblin sculptor and doer of so many things at Rogue Hobbies, kindly said that he would manage the rest of this project, and I have to say, he absolutely nailed it. We got the logo itself laser cut on some MDF, and then Tom painted it up, popped the sprues in, put the whole thing together, and bam, is this not the coolest thing that you have ever seen? I think it's easily the best part of the entire room. All of these sprues look so cool and colorful, and it sums up my love for this hobby so well. And also, look at how proud Tom is, and he should be as well, because he really popped off with this one. You go, Tom. But now that the centerpiece of the room was installed and in place, I let this handsome genius loose to install all of the lights, cameras, and electricals in the studio as well. But then, after a lot of procrastinating from me, and after filming one last video, it was finally time for me to start moving all my stuff out my old room and into my brand new one. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I personally love moving into a new place. It used to be one of my favorite times of the year back back when I was at uni because it gives me the opportunity to do one of my favorite ever tasks, which is organizing my various collections, but most importantly, discovering some hidden treasures too. However, as I found very quickly as I was moving out of my studio, due to my career on YouTube in the last 2 years, I had ended up collecting, buying, and being sent a lot of hobby stuff. But the only downside of all that is that I genuinely wish that I had more time to make a video on every single cool thing that I've ever been sent that I love, and honestly, it bums me out a little bit that I've not. Like back when I made my Play-Doh Space Marine video, the people who make Necromolds, which is a similar style Play-Doh idea but crafted into a whole little war game, sent me over a bunch of their range, and I am just obsessed with it. And to continue my love for old school squats, I have a bunch of these awesome rock knots, which I bought from Salute this year, and not to mention the countless little independent miniature companies whose work I absolutely love, but I just need a little more time to focus on and make videos about. Sorting through and organizing my things made me realize just how much I love all of this stuff in this hobby space, and why I was so excited for it all in the first place, whether I bought it or I got excited to be sent it. So now that I'm moving into my new studio, I am super motivated to finally do something with them. And I think one of the first videos I'll make in this new studio will be about my favorite non-Games Workshop miniature sculptors and the miniatures that they make. Anyways, maybe the most sad, but also at the same time kind of heartwarming part of all of this moving was me just packing up all my miniatures, trinkets, and all of the memories I've made so far on my channel, which I did in my tiny little room. As I packed up my now pretty big collection of Gundams to display in my new studio, I remembered thinking how no one would like my Gundam videos, and I thought that they would be a total flop, and we all know how that turned out in the end. And remember these absolutely abhorrent Play-Doh guys that we made? They're looking a little bit more kind of crusty and solid and a little deformed than they did a couple of years ago, but I still love them so much, and making them was definitely one of my favorite videos that I've ever done. And then I came across a bunch of old Rascal Town stuff. In fact, I came across like the first mock-ups I made back when Rascal Town was just a silly little name I picked for a one-off project in which I wanted to make a miniature for a video. And now Rascal Town is a whole range of miniatures and a little sub-business that I own and operate with my friends, which brings so many people so much joy. I found fan art, letters, miniatures, stickers, and all sorts of other incredible things which you guys as a community have sent me over my short time as a YouTuber, and honestly, it really got to me. Like, I know it sounds lame and cheesy, and there's probably not going to be a way that I can say this on camera, which sounds as genuine as what I feel inside and think in my head. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. Like, whether you've just watched the occasional video, liked or commented on something, or even bought a Rascal Town Goblin, I appreciate you guys so much, and it makes me so happy that you're here. And as someone who occasionally needs like a little bit more help feeling happiness on a day-to-day basis, I honestly am so grateful. I really like where I'm at right now in life, and that's quite a lot for me to say. So thank you. But yes, I promise that in return, I will keep on doing my best to keep this channel going, keep on making my fun, positive videos, so that hopefully you guys can feel a little bit of joy in return. And speaking of which, I think it's finally time to say one last kind of sad goodbye to the old tiny Rogue studio, thank it for its hard work, and introduce you guys to the brand new Rogue Hobby Studio 2.0. Okay, let's go. And now to reveal the new look for the whole channel in 3, 2, 1, ta-da! Yay! So here it is, and here I am inside of it. Ooh. So yeah, this is it. This is my new setup, and this is how my videos are gonna look from now on. And I have to say, I think I really like it. It's a massive improvement on the old setup. I like that my background still has all the shelves so you can see all my things, but I think like the lighting is so much better. And oh my god, can we talk about the sign? The sign is so good and it looks so nice in the background. Yay! Sign. So much room. And also behind the camera, I now have so much more room to paint in front of me as well, which is massive for me. My last desk was kind of tiny, and you guys know how painting projects can sometimes kind of close in on you. So I feel a lot more free and also a lot more organized now as well. But obviously I've just moved into this new studio, so it's kind of still a work in progress. And there's a ton of things that I'd like to add to it in the future to improve it. But what do you guys think of my new setup? Because I think I love it. I think I really love it. And again, I want to say a massive thank you to Rob and Tom and Nathan, because I couldn't have done any of this without them. But maybe most importantly, I want to thank you guys at home for watching this video and supporting my channel generally, because couldn't have done it without you guys either. So let me know in the comments section what kind of videos you'd like me to make in my brand new setup, because I get the impression that this brand new Rogue Hobbies 2.0 era is going to be really awesome. But for now, I'm afraid that is all we have time for. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And as usual, no matter where you are, thank you for being rogues. I'll see you in the next one. Bye! First, bye! Bye!